Dear Louis, I use the computer quite a bit. I use it for work, and I find that after a lot of computer usage, I'm very much in my head. What can I do to get me more present to my body and to my feelings? Okay, first of all, you're speaking a question that applies to most people on the planet, since computers have become part and parcel of our existence in most of the world. So, very good question. One thing, it's really important to be discerning and to be fair and honest with yourself as to how much computer time you allow yourself in a given day. Now, obviously, there are demands and structures in place with many people's employment, but individuals often extrapolate that hugely because of their own personal desire to indulge. But empirically, you start with what does your employer demand and require of hours of computer usage. So that's a prerequisite, that's a given. But again, I have to put quotes around what the employer requires because many people expand that, and where it might only be 4 hours of your 8 hours at work might be on a computer, and then someone might be doing 7 or 8. Well, it's job work related when you're surfing the internet and doing other stuff that's not work. So you got to be honest about that. So when you start with what's required, and the same for when you get home, paying your bills and checking your accounts and balances, there's a certain amount that's required. So beyond that, you have the rest of the day. So my suggestion is for most people, and again, there will be exceptions here and there, but for most people, beyond what's required, I would suggest for most people for a sound state of mental health and well-being through all areas of your life, no more than an additional hour or two, 3 at the most in a day. Now, if your job requires enormous amounts, then your leisure computer would be shrink down to almost nothing. Then you would definitely be under an hour for what's not required. If you have required 12 or 14 hours on the computer, then you want to be doing as little as possible, because there's other things that the human biosphere need to be whole and to be happy and healed. And I see the effects on people who, I see it particularly poignantly in a lot of teenagers whose parents just let them be on it around the clock. I know individuals personally who will stay on it long after the parents go to bed. They'll be on until 3, 4 in the morning, and then their parents are waking them up at 6:30 to go to school, and they don't even realize, there's just no discipline and no structure in the home. And these kids wind up severely depressed, doing horrible in school, and then they get more depressed over that, and then they get physically ill because they're not getting enough sleep, which in turn means they're not eating properly. Everything crumbles. So first thing is establishing proper structure for hours of usage. And again, beyond what's required, no more than 1 to 3. Up to 3 if you're only have a little bit of required time, and less than 1 if you have an enormous amount of required time. Number 2, time on the earth. Because of number 1, most people have very little of number 2. Time on the earth is critical. And that can take so many forms. Sitting on the earth to meditate, lying on the earth to recharge. You could go to a beach and lie right on the sand, face down or face up, and throw a blanket down, or go in a grassy field or a park, or go lie in a big boulder, depending on what energies you want, And I do all kinds of different lying meditations based on the energy that I'm wanting to seek. Like if you're wanting to get to summon a lot of male energy. The word is escaping me here. If you want a lot of really strong male energy, sometimes I'll go lie face down a gigantic glacial boulder. Just without a blanket or anything, just lie right on it. And then I do a whole process where I can open my chakras and just descend into the earth and get knocked out and just get charged by that. Sometimes I'll even go, in the past, sometimes if I'm feeling really tired, sometimes I'll just go, if you're in a little town or something and there's train tracks there, I'd go stand near the train. When a train comes, I'll just put my two hands up, safely away from the train as it's coming toward me, and just start taking really deep inhalations, my palms up, and just pull that energy, that charge into me, and your body will just be buzzing because all that chi is going right into you. And if you're wanting, nurturing and rest and some real beautiful, divine motherly energy, go out and just sit under the moon and just stare into the moon, particularly a full moon. And that will do stuff to you that's amazing. That does all kinds of alchemical things to your actual atomic and subatomic structure too. If you stare into a full moon without looking away for a minimum of 10 minutes and as little blinking as possible, it will change you in so many ways, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy of it. But there are all kinds of things you can do on the earth. Also, like going to the ocean and just connect to the Divine Mother in the ocean. If you want to be rinsed and cleansed of stuff, if there's a lot of garbage that built up in your mind, negativity or sadness or toxins in your body, just lie in there and ask the ocean to cleanse you and wash you, even though you're not in the water, you're at the ocean, and just see that as the Divine Mother rinsing you and cleansing you. So all that earth time will help counter all the stuff that the computers do to get you in your head and harm your eyes and all of that. Second, and almost equal but hand in hand with that, is interaction and engagement with animals. Most everyone has cats and or dogs. Go spend, when you come off your computer, go spend some real quality time with your pets. And if you don't have one, then go enjoy your best friends or your girlfriends or your neighbors or your mother's pet, or go down to a petting zoo or go somewhere. Go see animals in nature. Go watch them. Or even put on, just go out in nature and watch the birds. But if you have pets, engage with them. Hold them, cuddle them, take them out. Take them for a walk in nature. That cleanses you and rinses you. So those two things, the being in nature, the nature time, and with the animals, that does enormous amounts. And limiting your computer time. And that, when I say computer, that includes your phone, that includes video games and parlor games, whatever they call them. I don't even know the name of them. I don't use them. Computer games, the PlayStations and all that hoo-ha. When I say computers, it's all of it, including cell phones. And limit your cell phone usage as well. Dial those down more and more and more, and supplement with more animals, more nature. And, there is a third, fourth. One was using the most minimum amount of time you can on all that electronics, earth time, animal time, and the fourth is exercise. Physical exercise is a great restorer, recharger, and transmuter. And as more people build up in the electronic world, nature's out, animals are out. Not completely, because they have pets they have to take care of, but they get reduced to the bare minimum, and exercise for many gets pushed to the side too. So limit the amount and increase animals, earth time, and exercise, and you will find that not only will you restore that balance and energetic, healthy feeling, but you will actually offset and have a positive bank account when those far outweigh your computer and electronics time. You'll find that the electronics world, because you've reduced it and replaced it with a lot of these, it won't even have a negative impact on you. You can so much reverse and overcompensate that you'll have a positive balance, and you'll feel even more charged and more alive and more healthy and more grounded and happy and clear, even though you still have 3 or 4 hours using your different devices throughout your day, phone and computer and whatnot. So there you have it. Great question. I'm glad you asked that. I never gave that discourse before. It was a brand new one. Just rolled off the web there.